Today, as we take a drive through scenic Germantown, Tennessee, I'll be talking about Kaitlin Armstrong and the murder of Mo Wilson, and get down to what I think it's really about. Mo Wilson was an elite cyclist in the gravel racing circuit, which is a very popular scene right now in cycling, and she was the best. Usually when a gravel race will come to a town, she would be touted as the favorite, and she would get press in regular news, local news. She was the name. There's another cyclist, I believe his last name is Strickland. He was a former pro. Now, keep in mind, there are levels of this. There's Tour de France pro, and there's domestic American racing pro, and I don't think he was top Tour de France level, but nonetheless, in the sport of cycling, if you're a pro, you're damn good, and it's a hard sport. Kaitlin Armstrong was dating Strickland, and I'm not sure if they broke it off or maybe they didn't, but Strickland had a fling with Mo Wilson. Supposedly, they had an intimate relationship and became platonic after that, at which some point Strickland either went back and continued his relationship with Kaitlin Armstrong, or like I said, maybe it was an affair. I'm not sure. I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. Long story short, Kaitlin Armstrong finds out, allegedly starts shaking when she finds out from a tipster who actually called a tip line when Kaitlin Armstrong was on the run. So Kaitlin Armstrong finds out, absolutely goes nuts, and at some point drives over to where Mo Wilson was in town for a race. She was not a resident of, I believe, somewhere in Texas, but she was there for a race, finds where she was staying, shoots her to death. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Mo Wilson is the victim of this awful tragedy. Kaitlin Armstrong ends up fleeing to Costa Rica and gets caught. Lots of news reports nationally, a lot of YouTube channels are talking about it. It seems to be a popular true crime topic right now. The basic take is that it's a love triangle. But what is it really about? Perhaps this wasn't as simple as a love triangle. The culture in cycling is very competitive for some. It's very consuming. A lot of financial investment, but also people's personal value and identity is completely wrapped up in the cycling. Their lives are good or bad depending on their results in races on the weekends. And I know, because I was one of them. Now, the easy thing to do is to say, Kaitlin Armstrong was dating this guy, they were an item, they lived together, and then they break it off, or they don't, and it ends up having a fling with Mo Wilson. Kaitlin Armstrong was jealous and shoots and kills her. End of story. It's not as simple as that, in my opinion. What it is an obsession with cycling. It's not that he slept with someone else or had an affair. What it is he had an affair with a really good cyclist, a cyclist that had a name, that was well known, that was famous. Kaitlin Armstrong couldn't compete with that. Had he had a fling with someone else who wasn't known, who was placing last, who didn't even race, would she have reacted this way? We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think she would have. Mo Wilson was better at cycling and was more well known for it. I think that's what it stems from. I think that's why she was shaking when she heard Strickland was with Mo Wilson. Had he slept with Jane Doe, Starbucks barista, I don't think she would have walked into Starbucks and blew her away. This is more about who the victim was in comparison to the perpetrator than just a love triangle. And that's what I think it's really about. Let me know what you think in the comments below.